back again for another On the Prowl episode. This time it is to go to Kentucky Corruption Unit. That's where we're going. So we're going to wait for some people to come in here and join the room, join the chat. I'm trying to fix this phone where it's just right. There we go.
You know what? Yesterday confirmed without a shadow of a doubt that it is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Stay on track here. Instead of talking to me, tell them about it, Tiff. Tell them what happened yesterday, Tiff. We got 10 coming in the chat. I can't keep up with chat driving.
Have you said anything about what happened yesterday? Like, have you mentioned it?
Yeah, I mean, don't tell every detail of the story because they need to watch the video, but go ahead and tell them the gist of it.
Well, should I get around to be like, Chris got beat up by a girl yesterday?
Had a female, which I don't know how girly she really was, but she tried to punch me.
She had some bony elbows too. Like, I'm telling you.
She ran them bony elbows into my gut, and then a sergeant for the LMPD smashed me into the wall and tried to trip me up, and they were freaking out, guys.
Yeah, it was intense yesterday.
Yeah, it looked just like, you know, a lynching that you would see, but it was just one dude, so he didn't get to carry it as far as he probably would have had it not been for this one barking at him, coming up on him from behind, and then the fact that I'm a big dude and he was all by his lonesome, so if I decided I'd wanted to fight back, he would have been fucked.
They all of the officers that assault him, they forget that I'm there. They forget that I am a person, and they forget that I can do stuff. Like, I can still do stuff, even though you don't see me and acknowledge me because I'm a female and I'm short. I'm still there. So
she came running up behind him and said, "Don't touch him," and the cop laid off me and turned around and looked, make sure he wasn't getting attacked from behind.
He remembered.
Yeah, he realized it real quick that she was there and she wasn't about to let me get beat up or take no shit from him. And then we got the second in command of LMPD to respond. So that's unfortunately how you get the higher staff that you need if you're reporting.
Yeah.
If you're trying to speak to the chief about corruption, I guess you got to get beat up in the hallway, and then the chief staff will come out.
Well, one thing that I want to point out is he was assaulted by government entities across a hallway from kids.
Yeah,
like there's children across the hallway. They have
a children's center inside of the headquarters location, and thankfully there were no kids out there.
Yes.
But you know, like, that is not a good place for your children to be, folks.
That's
if you got kids,
dangerous.
You should not have them around the police, because the police are dangerous in Louisville. Yeah. They don't care who they put their hands on or why. Actually, they do care why. You all want to put one in the chat if you want to hear why they did it. Put one in the chat, and I'm going to tell you as you're putting ones and twos in.
This is going to have to come down. My phone is overheating, so it's not going to be able to sit up there.
You know, you're going to have to move this. And see.
All right.
Stick it there because it's in the. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's right in front of the AC. Yeah, bear with me for a second, guys. My phone was overheating, and I would have lost you guys if I wouldn't have pulled it down.
That's a good view anyway.
All right, so that'll be perfect. It's in front of the AC.
Will you put my cord behind your phone and then put my phone in that?
Yeah.
All right, so while you guys are voting, if you want to hear why, so one and twos in chats for if you do want to hear why they did it, and two if you don't care why they did it. And while you're doing that, I'm going to be telling you a little bit more information. So the person that caused it, the one that escalated it, the one that is the whole reason why it happened, is the chief of police administrator. That's what she is, administration. Now, guys, administration means doing business with the public, reports, records, but this
setting
is the
appointments.
Chief's. Yeah, setting appointments.
Super easy job.
This is the chief's administrator. So the administrator, the highest up the rank that there is, that works the closest to the chief of police, it was her that that physically assaulted me. She tried to punch me, guys. And the only reason why, well, hang on. Wait, how many votes did we get on one, Steph?
You got a lot of ones.
I got a lot of ones, so you do want to know why? The only reason why is because we said into the speaker what we were there for was to make an appointment with the chief. And of course, you know how nosy they are, right? So they asked why. So we said, well, we have proof that there are a number of officers working for LMPD that we can name and show you proof of that are assaulting innocent citizens in Louisville.
Yeah.
And we would like the opportunity to speak with the chief about it. And the chief just got done doing this public announcement saying that she wants to work with the activists and learn from the public and all that bullshit. Saying that she wanted to be hands-on, one-on-one talking to people that have information to help her clean the corruption out of Louisville. Because as you know, Louisville is all over the mainstream national news for being on a consent decree agreement, in that they were found to be so corrupt by the DOJ that the DOJ made a deal with them and said, we're only going to let you continue to operate if we're babysitting you. That's what a consent decree is all about.
How embarrassing is it, though, to be an adult with a power position and have to have a damn babysitter? Like, you can't do nothing without another babysitter. That is so sad.
Yeah,
That's
and
disgusting.
you all know how hard it is for an agency to get hammered by the DOJ, right?
Yeah.
They have to really screw up. So Louisville is that. That's what we're dealing with over there. And this chief is new, and hell, I think she might be worse than the last one, which was horrible. They both came from Atlanta, Atlanta PD. I know you got something to say. Let me.
You go right ahead. I'm waiting.
And then I'll give it to you. I'll give you the floor. So Atlanta Police Department they were under scrutiny for being corrupt by DOJ, and they were going through their records, and they were finding all this major bad corruption, like the feds were. So Atlanta PD was forced to clean up, and that's what they were doing. And in that, a lot of the officers decided to bail. Well, the main one that decided to bail was Erica Shields. She's like, fuck this, I'm out of here, we're getting in trouble.
So basically it was like when you flip the light on and the cockroaches scattered.
Yeah, they scattered across America.
They ran over here.
So Atlanta's PD officer, Erica Shields, came here. Now, she was deep inside of the corruption. She was working directly with one of the units that was getting blasted for what they were doing. Bad corruption. So Erica Shields left there and came and got the position of chief here in Louisville, Kentucky. And she held that position for a couple of years. And then our corruption was so bad, you had Brianna Taylor incident right before she came, and there was protests happening. People were demanding that Louisville clean up and reform. And that's what Erica Shields had to deal with, and she did a terrible job. She let it continue. She backed the blue. Well, what she did, check this out. She spent, I don't know where she got the money. I'm assuming she used tax money probably, but I could be wrong about that part. But I'm not wrong about what I'm getting ready to say. She had billboards put up and marketing and advertising for the police in Atlanta, to come here, follow her here. Put a one in the chat if you think that's fucking stupid. Put a 2 in the chat if you agree with it, and then comment what you think about it. Let her read what's going on. Let me know what they're thinking. Erica Shields brought the corruption with her to Louisville.
Not once. I didn't know that she advertised like that. Chris has dug into this city a lot more than I've had time to, and
she digs the laws, I dig what's going on.
That's the reason he can explain what we're doing a lot better than me, and I can explain how we're doing what we're doing a lot better than he can most of the time. So
now there's more to the story, guys. This new chief the one that took over for Erica Shields, because the governor or the mayor pretty much let her go as soon as he got mayor. He let go of Erica Shields because everybody knew she was a problem too. So one of the officers that Erica brought from Atlanta, from the corrupt Atlanta department, is the one that nobody in the world can pronounce this woman's name. The mayor accidentally called her Tweef, Jackie.
I call her Velcro-osa.
And so it's Jackie Gwen Velcro. I don't know. Y'all can look it up and tell me what you think the fuck it is. But anyway,
No clue.
she worked with Erica Shields at Atlanta. So I don't know how they expect that to be cleaning up. I mean,
Yeah, here and
31.
then right.
No, I did that last time. This is what we need.
No, that's what I'm saying. Here and then right.
They make this area confusing.
Sorry, they give you like 5 opportunities to go and take the toll bridge. They're like, are you sure you don't want to give us your money? No, we don't want to give you our money. So you have to make sure you stay on the right road.
And then they made the signage really shitty to let you know that you could get off over here to take 2nd Street for free.
Yeah.
They do that on purpose. That money's not even government. The money that's going to the bridges is not even government. So it's not paying for fixing the roads or nothing like that, as far as I know.
Sorry, somebody said, does she have Dalmatians? I'm not for sure.
Who?
Well, because I said Velcro-osa.
Oh, yeah. The, I can't remember, 101 Dalmatians.
Thank you, Mikey. Thank
So,
you so much.
Today, let's talk about what we're doing today. We are on our way back to the Capitol again soon. But what we're doing now is we are making a meeting or an appointment with the corruption unit for this agency, the corruption unit. You guys saw that we went to their PIU, which is public integrity. Well, now we got to do the corruption unit. So we're doing that. And then we've been making phone calls to the state capitol to get the attorney general to get on board. So that's, one of our demands.
Well, we just got to make it public, show that we're making the effort, and sort of force his hand to acknowledge that we need to talk to him. Like, we need to talk to you. We're not going to stop until we get to talk to you.
Now, we may never end up actually speaking face-to-face with Daniel Cameron, and that's okay.
That's fine, yeah.
I mean, he's done it for other media outlets, and they didn't treat him so well. Like, they hammered him pretty good because, he was found to have been lying incredibly in the Brianna Taylor. He was the attorney that was selected as a special prosecutor in the Brianna Taylor incident. And he definitely did all kinds of, like, there was, the jury said that he lied and swayed them and lied about their answers. In other words, did not allow them to be a separate entity to make the decision. The jury's got a lot to say. I got a video coming out that's going to have the answers to any questions that you might have on what I'm talking about right now. So I'll wait till you guys get an opportunity to see the link that I put in. You'll be able to hear the jury members speak for themselves, and I'm going to let that happen on that aspect. But whoa, I got ran over by a semi here, guys.
He's close.
He needs to be over on 65 and pay the toll. But I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
We're talking about Daniel Cameron and
Yeah.
everything that was said and how you want to let them.
Well, I'm going to let
watch
them
the clips.
watch the clip on what the jury said. But here's more. Cameron flat lied about the facts that were found in the case at court. So he was lying at court to cover for the police for it would have been Mattingly and Cosgrove. And this is proven. So this isn't my opinion. This isn't
a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, no,
It's
this is
factual.
proven, already done by DOJ. The dude should have went to prison for this, I think.
It's been proven that he is a terrible person that will lie to protect his blue
Police.
line buddies, and he's still in office. He's still sitting there. He's still making decisions, and he's still running it.
Yeah,
How?
and he's and on TV he plays both sides. Like he said something bad about the FOP recently to probably try to circumvent some of the damages, to mitigate some damages, I guess. I don't know. But anyway it goes, here's what he did. He lied about the available facts in the Brianna Taylor case. He omitted the fact that there were 2 bullets fired through the ceiling. He didn't even put a 1 in the chat if you think that information, shooting through the floor of another apartment where there was a child and 2 adults.
Families.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's egregious to not add that information in court, that 2 bullets went through the floor of another apartment, fired by officers that were on trial. Okay, oh yeah, flying. Yeah, so the bullets were fired by the officers that were being put on trial for if they did it right or wrong, right?
That's definitely wrong.
That's
definitely wrong.
I mean, Cosgrove fired 16 rounds blindly. Another lie is he said that that only Mattingly entered. Now remember, guys, Mattingly got shot in the leg inside the apartment. You can't get out of that. Your blood's on the floor, so you can't say I didn't go in. But they're saying Cosgrove didn't go in. But in Cosgrove's testifying, in his testimony when he was being questioned, he said that he tripped over Mattingly when Mattingly went down. So answer me this, ponder me this one. How the fuck are you gonna trip over somebody that's in another room? Pretty hard to do, isn't it? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's hard to trip over somebody that's in a different room than you.
That's like some Harry Potter crap. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so he tripped over Mattingly, who was in the floor in the living room in Brianna's apartment. Now, all this is stuff that Daniel Cameron, it was his job as the attorney to bring this against. He was supposed to be doing criminal charges against Cosgrove and Mattingly.
Yep.
And Hankinson, which they did give Hankinson, who was out in the parking lot. Here's what Hankinson's deal was. First, he threatened to shoot the neighbor who came out with his baby and wanted to get the fuck out of Dodge. He threatened to shoot him, told him to get back in the apartment, which later 2 bullets went through the floor of. All right, so that was the first thing Hankinson did. Then, when the shit hit the fan and they heard 1 little 9mm gunshot, they all went flying back. He went flying back. He ran out to the parking lot and hid behind the cars. And I'm talking about like 30 or 40 feet away. Hankinson was hiding behind the cars with an AR, shooting from behind the cars at what he called the muzzle flashes. What he was actually shooting at is the cops that were in there shooting.
He was shooting at his brothers.
And he shot wild through the front of the building. So he put 10 bullets throughout that apartment and adjacent apartments, apartments behind it. So that was him. But yeah, he got charged with just a 5-year statute version of wanton endangerment. And that was all they did, was gave that one. So Cameron literally covered for 2 people. One who committed murder, which was Cosgrove, who's working as a sheriff deputy in Carrollton, Kentucky, for the sheriff's department in Carroll County. And the other was Mattingly, who I think that it's a damn shame that Kenneth Walker decided to aim down. So Mattingly ended up getting shot in the leg, but you busted in somebody's house without announcing. So now here's the other thing. This is the other thing. Cameron, in court, who's supposed to be trying to get these guys for murder and attempted murder, right? Because one of the bullets killed the girl, the other one might not have, but it probably would have because it took them 30 minutes to get EMT there. But so she probably would have bled out from the other gunshot, which was fired by Mattingly. But anyway, so that should have been attempted murder at very least. Well, anyways, in court, the guy who was supposed to be trying them for murder charges said that I'm not going to go out in the middle, buddy.
What are you honking at? Like, if we go out there and the light changes colors, we'll get T-boned.
I guess he wants to turn. I don't know. I wasn't going to get over here until this line moved a little bit. So he said, Daniel Cameron, sorry guys, it's a lot for me to keep driving and keep up with this. In downtown Louisville and the traffic, I can't look at the phone or nothing. So he said that, this is the big one. He said that they knocked and announced, but he didn't have any evidence to say that they knocked and announced. Only one person at any point in time slipped up because of weird questioning. You know how they do. They do questioning in a way where it doesn't matter how you answer, you're answering in favor for them to protect themselves. And all he said was yes to, they were saying, did they knock and announce? Well, he was saying yes to they knocked because they beat the door. They hit the door. So he was trying to say yes, they hit the door like a knock. It was bang, 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 probably. That's how they do it. We can tell you that.
Well,
and then but they're trying to come in while they're doing that, right? So the guy said yes to that, but he was saying they didn't announce, and he was very clear in his testimony during questioning. The guy that said that, he was very clear that they did not announce. So the elements that are required, the factors that are required for a justified shooting of a police officer that's coming in illegally is, did they knock and announce? It's the very first question you have to be able to answer. Did they knock and announce? Well, they knocked, but they didn't announce. So no, you wouldn't have that one. Well, Daniel Cameron lied. He lied and said that there was absolute proof that they knocked and announced, but they didn't.
Beating down someone's door is not knocking and announcing. That is attempting
to
break in. That's breaking and entering, literally, especially whenever you don't have the legal support and backing to be able to do it lawfully. So that's why we are so against any of the officers that was involved in Brianna's situation. We don't want them anywhere else.
They need not be law enforcement at all. That matters to the public whatsoever. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind seeing them all sit in prison.
Well, I'd be okay, like, if they went around and picked up dog poo. That'd be a good job for them. I don't know.
Smash their face in it. Well, I will tell you this. The only officer that got charged initially by the state when Daniel Cameron was responsible, before the feds picked it up, was Mattingly, the one that was bleeding on Brianna's floor, because wanton endangerment, and it was a minor version of it. He got, it's going to be 5 years. But I think they ended up letting him off the probation. So he didn't serve shit, as far as I know. Maybe a few days, something like that. I could be wrong. I was expecting to see him rot in prison, but it didn't happen because Daniel Cameron. So what we're saying is that even though me and her are working our asses off to get everything through to the Attorney General's office, we're talking about Daniel Cameron's office. So,
talking about people that protected murderers. They protected
LMPD
them.
murderers.
Openly. It's now open. Everyone knows about this. Protected murderers, and they're still sitting in office, and they're still making decisions, and we are
and they're running these units that are at the Capitol. So all these people saying contact the Attorney General. Well, we are, but if you think it's going to do any good, we're showing you that it probably won't. But we're not going to stop.
We're going to do our absolute best to figure out a way around this, like we always do. But this one is not easy. This one is not easy at all, guys.
LMPD's corruption goes way back, and it is very thick.
You know, I was talking to Chris earlier. I was like, you know what? I was like, the whole stop paying taxes thing would actually probably be the best avenue in Louisville. Honestly, if I was here, I would figure out a way to stop paying taxes, because the services that Louisville is paying for, you're not getting them. You're getting the exact opposite.
Yeah, you're getting shafted in Louisville.
You're paying people to kill your family, and you are paying people to beat you up and protect their brothers whenever they do it. Like, you're paying exactly the opposite of our contractual agreement with them. And I would be so angry, and I would figure out a way that I didn't have to pay taxes. So mad. Like, I'm not.
Hey guys, put a one in the chat if you saw the video that I did with Captain Paul Humphreys when he was covering for the officer that fired one bullet that hit 2 kids. Granted, the kids might have been into a little bit of no good at the time, but there were a couple kids involved they were hiding in a garage, or I don't even know they were hiding. They were in a garage, and the police barricaded their asses in the garage without having a crime. There was no crime.
Mikey, thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for donations. That's amazing.
You guys are all awesome, and you guys help us do what we're doing. Whether it's, the super chats or anything like that, or it's just being here with us. Because we need you guys with us to support us basically on an emotional level because this is hard.
Way to go off track.
Sorry, I just want to say thank you to everyone. But anyway, go
All right, let's start over on this part we were talking about. Thank you for the donations, guys. That's what she's trying to say. But put one in chat. If you saw the video with Captain Paul Humphreys, little black guy with an afro, younger looking fella, studied in college. Put a one in the chat if you saw his speech on my channel in the event in which there was a cop that fired one bullet, allegedly by accident, like a complete accidental. They said discharge, like not negligence, but accidental discharge, and it just hit two people that they suspected.
Super coincidental. You know, an accident hits two people.
Now, negligence means you discharge it when you didn't mean to. And accident means like you dropped it or there was a mechanical malfunction. But they called it accidental, meaning they think that the gun malfunctioned or that it was dropped. So how do you end up hitting two people that you suspect in either one of those? It's bullshit. So Humphreys, the guy that said that, the guy that determined that to cover for the LMPD officers not long ago on that video that I did, that's the one that came out yesterday at LMPD headquarters. And he did de-escalate. He did do that.
Yeah, he paid attention during de-escalation class. Good job.
Yep, but then he wanted videos so that he could tear our video apart like he did that one. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you so much.
I think he was trying to get my video.
Back around, because it's...
Thank you so much for the donations, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, I think Humphreys just wanted my video so that he could cover for what they did to me in that hallway yesterday.
There's absolutely no covering for it. Like, we'll send him the video, but...
There's nothing you're going to be able to say
No.
to make me look bad.
Absolutely not.
I'll tell you all what I was doing. Put it one in the chat if you want to hear what I was doing when they did it, when the girl tried to punch me. Put it one in the chat if you want to hear it. Or you can wait for the video. I think I got on my community page for public safety, and they want to hear it.
Either way, I can promise you guys the video is insane. So you can know every single fact of what happened, and it is still
want to watch
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But on my community tab on my channel for public safety, there's a community page tab thing, a vote for you guys to let me know which video you want to see first. Because I'm dropping a video on Sunday. We can either drop where me and her went to the Capitol, or we can drop the one that happened at LMPD headquarters yesterday. So I'm letting the votes decide which video I'm doing on Sunday. And then whichever one doesn't get voted, we're going to do on Tuesday. So you guys are more than welcome to do that. Now, it looks like there's an awful lot of ones that want to know what happened, what the reason was for the girl trying to punch me in the face directly. It was because I was holding the door open. I was holding a door. Because there was a FedEx guy that was allowed to go in and out and speak to people after we had been waiting for an hour. Can you hear us again? Can you hear us?
Can we get a 1 if we're back? 1 + 2.
Not yet.
Hang on.
All right, we're back.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, so there was a FedEx guy that was delivering a package. Now, we had been waiting for an hour for nothing more than the secretary came out. She said, "We're going to get Yolanda. She's coming down from a meeting right now. She's going to throw you on the schedule real quick, and then it'll be great."
You want to tell them how many times Yolanda passed by us?
Not yet.
Okay.
So Yolanda, all she had to do was she was leaving the meeting, coming down the steps to set an appointment for us. That's it. An hour later, and her passing us up, walking right by us, ignoring us.
Didn't even acknowledge us.
Nope, she kept doing that. And I'm not going to tell you every detail of the video, but I'll tell you she did that. And then after an hour, UPS or FedEx or whatever delivery guy came with a package, and they had to open the door for him. So they opened the door for him, and then I went over and held it. Went over and held the door. And she flipped the fuck out. Just close the door, close the door. Tried to punch me. I dodged it.
She was elbowing
And then
the
she
heck out of me.
jumps over, starts elbowing me, trying to get me to let go of the door. And then the cop comes out. She's screaming for the cop. I said, yeah, come on, cop, help me. I'm supposed to get an appointment here. And
hopefully we come back up.
this is one of the best places in Louisville
It's
for
going
reception.
around those curves.
Her
around.
phone's fucked, guys. That's what it really is.
I need to just suck it up and get a new phone is what I need to do.
Or figure out why this one doesn't pick up to the cell towers in some places. It's her phone. So, yeah, you guys can watch the video. So far, the votes for that video is outweighing the Capitol video, so it's probably going to premiere on Sunday on my channel. And then she's going to need to do a video about it to explain the breakdown of the laws that we brought and what was violated and whose position it was to do what. So,
and I almost have all of my KRS documents scanned in. That way I can share a link with you guys and you can go in and just check them out.
what video were you rapping on last night?
It was the one to explain what we were doing when we originally went to the Attorney General's office.
Okay, so she's working on a video.
Which I may honestly just skip that one and start.
Tell them what you got.
Well, I may honestly just skip doing an explanation intro for the first time we went to the Capitol and start with whenever we went to LMPD.
Why don't you ask them what they want?
Yeah, what do you guys want? If you guys want me to start at, the Attorney General whenever we went there, I'll happily do that.
Put a 1 in chat if you want her to finish the Attorney General video first and put it out there on her channel. 2, if you want her to skip that one for now, come back to it later, and work on the one from LMPD.
Regardless, you guys are still going to have all of the links and all of the documents included. Pizza
Drop them both.
good.
Well, we can't drop them both, Philip. She don't have either one of them done yet. She needs to know from you guys. She's very limited with, we have kids, and then she's coming with me to all these things.
And I'm still researching. Like, I'm still having to maintain our district lawsuit. That's case.
Yeah, we got two
And
lawsuits on the platter. She's doing all the paperwork on one of them.
Yeah.
So no, we can't drop both. I'd love to. If she had both of them done, that'd be great, but she doesn't. So sorry about that. However, and we're not gonna be able to stay here long, guys, because we're getting ready to go get a new memory card for the body cam. And we're here for that now. But yeah. So did you all vote?
So what we're saying is you guys are still going to see both of Chris's videos. The videos that
we're
we're
not talking
talking
about my
about right
videos.
now is just basically an intro. Like the department that we're going to, I'm going to do a breakdown of what that department does, where they're at, all
Hold on,
of that stuff.
let me start it like this. So that's because there are probably people in here that weren't here the other day when we talked about it.
True.
So what she's doing on her channel, because you're on OMC's channel, on her channel for her videos, she's got a new way she's decided to do her videos. What she's going to do is use her footage from when we've gone to what you've seen in my videos. She's going to use her footage to do legal explanations and breakdowns of everything that happened, the preparation to go to each one of these things and stuff like that. So what she's asking now is for you to vote on is we've been to 2 places this week. We've been to the state capitol, to the Attorney General's office.
Right.
And we've been to the LMPD headquarters. So what she's asking is, which one of those 2 videos would you like done first? Put a 1 in the chat if you want her to do the breakdown on the Attorney General's, and a 2 in the chat if you want her to do the breakdown at the LMPD headquarters. Sorry, sometimes explanation of things is my cup of tea.
Okay. I can.
2 them 1.
I'm going to do.
It shouldn't be too hard for her to do the
No.
LMPD because she got some great footage too. Shit you can't see on my video because I was the one getting whacked. So, 1 then 2. Well, this one 2. You're gonna have to go back and tally these out. They're kind of close.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Thank you for that. Still vote for her. So you don't want none at all, Joe Black. You don't want her to do a video.
But regardless of, what it ends up, you guys want me to do, you're still going to have a link put up. That way you can have access to all of the documents I carry around, which has KRS, it has case law, it has all of that. And you guys are going to see my highlighted sections, and you're going to see what I think is important. And
you're going to see
like
the
that.
research that is required to go and do these audits, in our opinion. And we dive deep into all the laws we suspect we're going to run into, and we study all the duties of everybody before we go.
Yeah.
Is Lou in here? I said duties.
Duty. So
But
yeah, the highlighting that you're seeing is stuff that I feel is important, and it is stuff that we have utilized, and it has worked for us. So that's all I can say about it. Everything else is from a website, and
you notice we haven't been wrong about it when we tell people what their job is, right? Yet that's because of her research. So she's not only going to share that research with you in video format, but she's also going to put links to that information for you guys to see what we're doing deep behind the scenes. But she's using real video footage, so it'll be a lot like watching a video breakdown on, like, you know how Audit the Audit does his, where he's doing like legal breakdowns. It'll be similar to that, but more for hands-on, not sitting, in a comfy chair and looking at somebody else's case. It's actually going to be the one she and I are in, and she's going to be doing legal breakdowns of it and explaining, this is where you went wrong, this is where you're supposed to be, this is what should have happened. And we're not going to vote on ourselves how good we did, because we always get 10s, guys.
Well, I just want to share with you guys, that way you guys can learn everything that we've learned. And it's all about educating yourselves and knowing it and being prepared if it ever were to happen, or if you ever needed it. And I feel like that's where a lot of us have been shortchanged, is they've made the information that we need very difficult to, get access to on their websites. It is literally a maze trying to navigate these state sites.
It wouldn't be that hard for the public school system to teach the basics of law and civil rights. It really would not. I mean, we've only been studying it for a couple years, and I mean, we know it better than any cop, I'm sure, I mean, there might be a cop out there that knows law better than us, but, to know all the aspects that we've learned, I doubt it, man. And I'm not trying to sound big-headed, but it's the truth. They don't even know the First Amendment 5 elements, which is ridiculous. That's so easy.
That's the problem that we ran into whenever we were calling attorneys. Well, Chris did most of the calling, but I was hearing this, and a lot of attorneys do not know or understand civil rights, but they are civil rights attorneys. How can you be an attorney for a subject that you do not understand? That would be like a business attorney who's never studied family law walking up into a family law courtroom, which they're not supposed to do, mind you, and being like, okay, I'm here to help you win your kid back.
And a whole lot of them will tell you that straight up when you call. Like, you got to know exactly how to search it, and they accidentally advertise in the wrong parts of law too sometimes. Let me throw one little tidbit in that we got to run. Here's something that I want all of you to look out for. If in the unfortunate event it ever happens to you in which you need an attorney for a lawsuit, for a civil lawsuit, look out for this thing that's happening. So the way this works is the state, when you file a 1983 action against a state, that's a section of law. These attorneys are studied in specifically Section 1983, the ones that do the civil rights suits. Now, if you are the attorney, let's say you graduate law school, you go into Section 1983, that's what you know, then you put yourself out there. I'm advertising as a civil rights attorney, blah, blah, blah. Now, if the state calls you, if the state calls your office, because there's 1983 action against them, you as the attorney can defend the state in Section 1983. And what's happening that we've learned is that the state is using a new one every time they need one, which is every time someone files 1983. So the state's sucking up all the civil rights attorneys and offering them consistency, right? They're saying, we're the state. We're getting 1983 action all the time, so it's going to be hot.
Well,
hang on, let me do this and then save your thought. Now, here's the thing I want you to look out for, because this is what I was talking about. What we ran across was there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of attorneys' offices that are asking you what happened before you've got your client privilege, your attorney-client privilege of not giving information. So they're asking you what happened. They're asking you about details. They will do it even when it turns out that the attorney is a conflict of interest because he's working for the state. So you might very well tell the attorneys office everything that happened in your case, lay out all the fucking facts to their secretary who's writing it down, and then later find out that's going to be the attorney up against you, and you can't do nothing about it because it's not technically a conflict of interest since you aren't contracted. So be careful.
That's what I was going to say is the majority of the attorneys have represented the state you are in at some point.
No, I wouldn't say majority,
Well,
but a lot
of them, and they do still hear your case.
They want to hear your complaint when you call. Well, what are you calling for? Well, it's not just a roundabout question like it sounds. What they mean,
Right.
You need to learn how to say, I have a case, and don't give them information about the case other than what you need to give them. You can say, I was the victim of a botched police raid, or I was the victim of an excessive force incident. And if they try to ask you details about it, I would recommend that you say, am I covered under currently covered under client and attorney privilege right now? And they're going to answer no, because you're not contracted. So that's when you say, well, I can't divulge that information.
And
now when you do, I'm so sorry.
You're good.
When you do the consult, you are covered, and you need to ensure that with the attorney before you start telling details. So it's good information for you all.
And another thing that I would do personally is I would go ahead and let them know who the defendant is going to be and say, do you have a conflict of interest? And once you have that, documented, like we record everything, if they say, no, we don't have a conflict of interest, we have never represented, say, for instance, the state of Kentucky. Okay, well, that's a good plus in your sign. And if they don't disclose that they quite possibly have a conflict of interest and you find out about it later on, then that's something that you have to document that they may have not helped you the way that they were supposed to.
Just be careful with the attorneys. Not that they're
Always,
bad, but just be
right.
careful with what information you put out there.
Right.
All right, guys, we love you. We got to go. We're already running late, so we don't want to miss our appointment.
Yes.
Love
Love you
see
guys.
you on the next
Talk
one.
to you soon. Thank you so much, Mikey.
Thank you, Mikey.
Love you
guys.
guys.
Are awesome.